Deepstar Six from 1989, the underwater sci-fi horror film directed by Cunningham.
Save your last breath to scream.
Mayday! This is Deepstar Six!
From the creator of Friday the 13th, Deepstar Six.
Greetings, fiends. Today we're looking at Deepstar Six, the 1989 underwater sci-fi horror film from famed Friday the 13th director Cunningham, starring Greg Evigan, Nancy Everhard, and Taurean Blacque.
The crew of Deepstar Six.
6 months at the bottom of the ocean. It's more than I bargained for.
They are explorers.
Let's bring it aboard and get the hell out of here.
What's the matter? You gonna let a few ugly fish scare you?
Deepstar Six plot. The crew of an experimental underwater nuclear base are forced to struggle for their lives when their explorations disturb a creature who threatens to destroy their base. Deepstar Six 411. Direct from the American Film Institute comes this selection of interesting facts about the production of Deepstar Six. Principal photography began in March of 1988. According to a 1989 American Cinematography article, the film had a 12-week shooting schedule. All interior shots were filmed on sets constructed in a former Smart and Final warehouse in Santa Monica, California, and a shuttered printing plant in Marina del Rey, California. The film's budget was $8.5 million. A 48-foot diameter tank was constructed by B&H Tank Company for all of the wet sets. Another 6-foot diameter tank that held 2,500 gallons was designed to supply the water for the flooding of the diving chamber set. During filming, all cameras were wrapped in plastic and placed in watersheds built of wood and plexiglass to keep them dry. As the flooding scenes lasted for several minutes, and emptying the tank took only 40 seconds, the scenes had to be shot multiple times using different camera angles. The final scene was filmed at Universal Studios Fall Lake, a water tank created for Jaws 4 using 2 wave machines. A 75 by 25 foot painted backdrop created the look of an open ocean. Director of photography Mark Alberg stated that the film was shot in 22 frames per second instead of the typical 24 frames per second to keep the action lively. To create the claustrophobic atmosphere of a deep water habitat, Alberg used fog filters and smoke, as well as low shooting angles to include the ceilings in wide shots. Lights were placed in overhead gratings and instrument panels. The creature was made from rubber, weighed 700 pounds, and was 22 feet long. Friday the 13th connections. Kane Hodder, who famously played Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th films, was the stunt coordinator for Deepstar Six. Producer-director Sean S. Cunningham developed the idea for Deepstar Six in 1987, with the express purpose of being the first release on the slate of upcoming underwater action sci-fi movies.
Yes.
Last but not least, this is the third film directed by Sean Cunningham to feature actor Ron Carroll in a role, after Friday the 13th from 1980 and Spring Break from 1983. First of the underground creature features. Deepstar Six was first released in January of 1989 as the first of 4 underwater creature movies, which included Leviathan from 1989, The Abyss from 1989, Lords of the Deep from 1989, The Evil Below, also from 1989, and The Rift from 1990. King Cameron. Deepstar Six writer Louis Abernathy sold his script at the same time that friend James Cameron was working on his own underwater monster saga. Despite Cameron's asking that he delay Deepstar Six to avoid competing with The Abyss, Abernathy went ahead and was thereby deemed persona non grata with Cameron and associates until they patched together their friendship when Abernathy accompanied Cameron on the September 1995 filming of The Wreck of the Titanic for Titanic from 1997. Chris Wallace Creature. The creature was initially designed by Chris Wallace, who then turned over his production designs to FX master Mark Sjostrom. Sjostrom made slight alterations and changed the creature's color scheme.
They are about to make a startling discovery. Not all aliens come from space.
Deep sea baseball caps. In Deepstar Six, McBride wears a baseball cap of the USS Lewis and Clark submarine. Jim Richardson wears a Purina Pet Chow baseball cap from the Bender and Winter store in La Junta, Colorado. And Captain Philip Laidlaw wears a deep sea research program Deepstar baseball cap.
You idiot. What have you done?
Secured the missile sled. What's the problem?
You detonated the missile.
Yeah, according to procedure.
You fool, you know what you've done.
I secured the missile
You
sled.
may have some death warrants.
I just did what you told me.
Rough reception. Deepstar Six was poorly received by critics and audience members when it was initially released. Additionally, it was not a commercial success, having grossed only $7 million in its first 2 full weeks of distribution, with an original budget of $8.5 million.
Hold on.
I hope you enjoyed this look at Deepstar Six. As always, please like and subscribe. Thank you.